000. All right. So, gentlemen, we all know the issue of SALL. Santro Kofi, Akpafu, Lolobi, and Likpe. And on this show, I've raised this SALL issue on more than 20 occasions. And I keep asking the basis for the Electoral Commission's 6th January 2020 directive to the people of these 4 traditional areas, telling them that they cannot vote in the parliamentary elections and they can only vote in the presidential elections. I've asked for the constitutional basis, the legal basis for that decision by the Electoral Commission. Of course, it's a matter which is in court. The Electoral Commission has not bothered to respond to that issue. Now, almost 4 years on, the Electoral Commission says that there's falsehood and misinformation being peddled by the Mani President, Franklin Cudjoe. And so they've decided to issue a statement. So last night, they issued a statement. It's dated 14th of May. Now, this is done. They've issued another statement, 15th of May, and I'll put both statements out for you to see. There have been some interesting amendments to portions of the statement, and maybe you would be able to help me to deal with why those changes, and also whether the Electoral Commission actually answers the question that it should answer. Now, so if we look at the first one, the Electoral Commission has received an audio circulating on social media in which the president of Imani accuses the Commission of disenfranchising the people of Santro Kofi, Akpafu, Lolobi, and Likpe. We wish to state categorically that his accusations are false and without basis. The Commission never disenfranchised the good people of the newly created Guan constituency. It is not in our interest to do so. Here are the facts surrounding the inability of the residents of SALL, now Guan constituencies, to vote in the 2020 parliamentary election. So both statements have this, so it is not an issue. So they start with 1. The legislative instrument LI 2416, which created a Guan district, was laid in Parliament on the 6th of October 2020 by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. It matured on the 9th of November 2020, roughly a month to the 2020 general elections. It's same on the new one. Point 2. Parliament went on recess on the 9th of November 2020, the same day the LI creating a Guan district matured and returned on the 14th of December 2020, 1 week after the 2020 general elections. Same. Then point 3, on the 10th of November 2020, the Electoral Commission received a letter from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development informing it of the creation of the Guan district, SALL. The letter requested the Commission to take steps to create a new constituency. 3 is same. Now 4, the Commission had no prior knowledge of the creation of the Guan district by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development until after its creation. So it says, the Commission had no prior knowledge of the creation of the Guan district by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development until after its creation. This is point 4 of the old one. So that's what you're reading. But the new one says that the Commission drafted a new constitutional instrument to bring into force the Guan constituency and forwarded the draft CI to the Attorney General's Department for its review on the 13th of November 2020 as required by law. So that is the first change. Now, point 5 of the old one says that the Commission was not aware that Parliament was on recess at the time it received a letter from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development requesting to create a new constituency. As a result, the Commission drafted a constitutional instrument, CI, to bring into force the Guan constituency and forwarded a draft CI to the Attorney General's Department for its review on the 13th of November 2020. Now, this says it's important to state that for a CI to mature and come into force, the law requires the Electoral Commission to lay the CI in Parliament for 21 sitting days. This means that Parliament should be in session during the 21-day period when the CI is laid. Then it goes to a 6, which says that following the correspondence to the Attorney General's Department, the Commission became aware of the fact that Parliament was on recess. Now, this 6 is, with Parliament on recess, the Commission could not lay the CI to bring the Guan constituency into effect required by law. And 7 says that It is important to state that for a CI to mature, this means that Parliament should be in session and all that. Now, this one says, the question is, how could the Commission proceed to create a new constituency when Parliament was on recess and when the law required the Commission to lead a CI before Parliament for 21 sitting days? And it says that how can any well-meaning person accuse the Commission of disenfranchising the good people of SALL when the facts are so clear? It's unfortunate that Imani continues to peddle falsehood and untruth about the Commission at every point and turn. His narrative that the Commission disenfranchised the people of SALL, now the Guan constituency, is false. We urge the public to verify information put out by Imani with the Commission for the truth and the facts. To enable the public to ascertain the truth, we have attached a letter from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development to the Commission requesting it to create a new constituency, and the Commission's letter to the Attorney General seeking to create the new constituency. So they've attached all those letters, you know. However, we have read this before, and this has to do with the Attorney General answering an urgent question on the floor of the House. And the Attorney General says that the parliamentary constituencies regulation as well as district electoral areas, copies of the draft constitutional instruments were submitted to the Office of the Attorney General by correspondence dated 13th November. Subsequently, the Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Justice, by a letter dated 18th November, forwarded a draft representation of People's Amendment Instrument 2020 and comments thereon to the Electoral Commission for their consideration. The Attorney General particularly drew the attention of the Electoral Commission to the limited time available for the dissolution of the 7th Parliament, having regard to Clause 7, Article 11 of the Constitution, which requires 21 sitting days for a draft instrument to come into force after being laid in Parliament. So this is the Attorney General saying that on the 18th, he forwarded this and their comments to the Electoral Commission for their consideration, and they drew the attention of the Electoral Commission to the limited time available for the dissolution. And they say on 26 November, by a letter dated 25th November, the Electoral Commission requested the Attorney General to finalize the draft constitutional instrument. Further to the receipt of the correspondence, the Office of Attorney General finalized work on the draft constitutional instrument and forwarded same to the Electoral Commission under cover of correspondence dated 30th November 2020. So listen to this. The Attorney General says that we told them that there was no time to do that. They wrote back to us asking us to go ahead and do that. So we finish on the 30th of November, and we forwarded the same to them on the 30th of November. Now, 30th of November was 7 days to the election. Now, this Electoral Commission, on a letter dated 25th of November, had written to the Attorney General asking the Attorney General to forward same. Now, by the 25th of November, this is the Attorney General telling Parliament, and the Electoral Commission is aware of this. This is in the Hansard of 9th of March 2022. Now, the 25th of November, at the time that the Electoral Commission asked the Attorney General to still proceed, despite the Attorney General's advice to them, we had 2 weeks, or less than 2 weeks to the election. We had 5 days to end November, and then 7 days in December for the election. So 12 days. So the Electoral Commission, which is telling us that the LI has 21 days to mature, had been advised, and with 12 days to go to the election, it still insisted to the Attorney General that go ahead and do it. When they are telling us that they are aware that for an LI to mature, it takes 21 days. So how on earth were they, with 12 days to the election, despite the advice of the Attorney General, still asking the Attorney General to go ahead with it? This is the Attorney General telling us. So the Attorney General says that they received the letter 26 November. It was dated 25th November. The Electoral Commission requested the Attorney General to finalize the draft constitutional instrument. Further to the receipt of the correspondence, the Office of the Attorney General finalized work and forwarded same to the Electoral Commission under cover of correspondence dated 30th November. The office further advised the Electoral Commission to, in line with parliamentary procedure, engage the parliamentary committee on subsidiary legislation to consider the draft instrument before the instrument is laid in Parliament. Indeed, as the Office of Attorney General had earlier cautioned in its letter of 18 November 2020, processes leading to its creation could not materialize since Parliament went on recess for the December 2020 elections on 9th of November 2020, same that the LI creating the Guan district came into effect, implying that the constitutional instrument for the creation of the Guan constituency could not be laid before Parliament. In order to prevent a palpable constitutional crisis to occasion, if the residents of the Guan district, that is SALL areas, voted for a member of Parliament in the Buem constituency, part of Jasikan district on the eve of the 7th December elections, the Electoral Commission directed the residents of the Guan district to only vote in the parliamentary and not the presidential and not the parliamentary elections. When Parliament resumed sitting on 14 December 2020, the Electoral Commission could not lay the amendment to CI 128 for want of the mandatory 21 sitting days for same to come into force before the dissolution of the 7th Parliament on the midnight. The Commission therefore was compelled to wait for the 8th Parliament to be sworn in on 7 January 2021 before the CI to amend CI 128 could be laid before Parliament. So this is the Attorney General.
It's interesting that you indicated that we've had discussion on this particular matter on several occasions. And I was
in fact, just hold on. I've just received a response by Franklin Kujo, the Electoral Commission. I think it's only fair that since he was a subject of the statement, 14th May statement of Electoral Commission on SALL brazenly dishonest and shows gross incompetence of Commission. So it's a matter of public record.
He's also referring to the 14th May.
Yeah, that was a statement. Yeah. The statement went out before they asked journalists to hold on. There's a matter of public record that in the evening of 6 December 2020, the Electoral Commission issued a public statement to the effect that voters in the South traditional areas could not vote in the parliamentary election scheduled for 7 December 2020. For ease of reference, a copy of that public statement of the EC is attached. The exclusion of voters in the South traditional areas from voting in the election for a member of Parliament was a flagrant violation of the right to vote of the said voters, which amounts to being disenfranchised. As a consequence, the people of South traditional areas do not have representation in the 8th Parliament of the 4th Republic. This has rightly been described by Professor Kweku Asari as a cardinal sin of the 8th Parliament. It is brazenly dishonest on the part of the Electoral Commission to refer to my statement about the people of South being disenfranchised as falsehood and misinformation, or falsehood and untruth about the Commission. None of the so-called facts surrounding the inability of the residents of South, now the Guan constituency, to vote in the 2020 parliamentary elections that are recited in the 14th of May 2024 statement of the Electoral Commission can take away the simple and indisputable fact that on the eve of the 2020 elections, the Electoral Commission publicly announced that the people of South could not vote in the parliamentary election. The people of South were therefore disenfranchised and are not represented in the 8th Parliament of the 4th Republic. When a lawyer for the Electoral Commission said in the High Court hold recently that it was regrettable that the people of South were not able to vote for a parliamentary candidate of their choice, some imagined that there was some soul searching at the Commission as regards the disenfranchisement of the people of South. It's now clear that this is not the case. Please see a media report attached. It is really remarkable that in its recitation of its dealings with the Ministry of Local Government Attorney General's Department in November 2020, in respect of the creation of a Guan constituency, the Electoral Commission did not appreciate that Article 47(6) of the 92 Constitution makes it clear that, quote, where the boundaries of a constituency established under this article are altered as a result of a review, the alteration shall come into effect upon the next dissolution of Parliament. This is also something the Supreme Court pronounced on in a case in which the Electoral Commission was a party. Whatever changes to existing constituency boundaries were to come into effect to the creation of Guan constituency would only come into effect upon the dissolution of that Parliament, that is on 6 January 2021. The Electoral Commission should therefore have known that even apart from whether its draft CI, which it says it forwarded to the Attorney General's Department for its review on 13th of November 2020, could have matured in Parliament before the 7 December 2020 election, the creation of the Guan constituency could not come into effect and alter existing constituency boundaries before the holding of the 7 December 2020 elections. The statement of the Electoral Commission indicates that the Commission was not aware that Parliament was on recess at the time it received a letter from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development requesting it to create a new constituency. Here again, it is incredible that the Commission does not appreciate that changes in the boundaries of constituencies are not just a matter of a letter from a ministry, but are to be consistent with Article 47(5) of the Constitution. That the Commission was not aware of Parliament being on recess at the time it received a letter from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development speaks volumes. So in preparing a draft of a constitutional instrument intended to be sent to Parliament to bring into force the Guan constituency, the Commission was not aware of the very public fact that Parliament was on recess. The Commission did not bother to check on the calendar of Parliament, even as it was preparing an instrument that could only come into effect after being placed before Parliament. In any case, I facilitated a meeting between the chair of the Electoral Commission, Mrs. Jim Mensah, and elders of SALL on November 30, 2020. The elders had earlier written to the issue on November 27, 2020, requesting clarity on the status of Lolobi and Akpafu people in the December 2020 elections. In the letter, the elders warned that, quote, any other action or attempt to place us or suspend our full participation in the coming electoral process will amount to deliberate disenfranchising of our rights to vote under the 1992 Constitution of Ghana. It will be a clear disrespect for our dignity as a people. We will resist any such action with all the force and might available to us. Please see letter attached. The following day after the meeting with the elders of SALL, specifically on December 1, 2020, the Electoral Commission's Deputy Director in charge of operations, Samuel Tete, told the media that SALL voters shall be allowed to vote in their mother constituency on 7 December 2020. We were therefore surprised when the EC, just after 5 days, on December 6, 2020, issued a press statement authorizing SALL residents not to vote in the parliamentary elections. The 14th May 2024 statement of the Electoral Commission is not only brazenly dishonest, but puts on stark display to the whole world the gross incompetence of the Jim Mensah-led Electoral Commission. I have no doubt that the people of Ghana will not be hoodwinked by the brazen dishonesty of the Electoral Commission, nor will they allow such brazen dishonesty and gross incompetence to stand in the way of our democracy. The unconstitutional and illegal actions of the Commission must be constantly exposed for the sake of upholding our democracy, and we will not relent in our commitment to doing just that. The people of SALL were disenfranchised by the Electoral Commission. Franklin Kujo, 15th May 2024. What is this?
Randy, I'm happy the Electoral
Commission...
For
the benefit of those who do not know, the statement signed by the Electoral Commission on the 6th of December 2020, and Annie, please put that statement on there. It says the Commission wishes to announce for the information of the general public, especially voters in a Buem constituency, that the 7 December 2020 presidential and parliamentary elections will take place in the Buem constituency as scheduled from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. However, as a result of the creation of the Guan District Local Government, Guan District Assembly Establishment Instrument 2020, and pending the creation of the Guan constituency, eligible voters in the Guan District will vote only in the presidential election, but not in the parliamentary election in the Buem constituency. Voters in the Guan District are to take note of this directive from the Electoral Commission.
Randy, I'm happy the Electoral Commission replaced this particular initial statement because reading the statement, Randy, the contradictions are a little bit too much. At a point, they say it was laid in Parliament on the 6th. At a point, they say they were not aware of the creation of even the district. It's a challenge. It's a challenge. And I'm happy they released another statement to bring some clarity to the initial one.
The new statement does not also cure any of the issues.
But at least the first one is a little bit tidier than the second one. I've also just listened to you reading Mr. Franklin Kujo's statement. Randy, bottom line, it's unfair to have a group of people not having a representation in Parliament. Bottom line, Randy. Our very good friend, Fred Agbenyo, for years, has been traveling back to his constituency and getting himself ready to come to Parliament. It is simply not fair to have me represent my people, Efijako Agbenyo, in Parliament, and getting an opportunity to ask questions to ministers and all that, and getting answers, so I take back to my people to explain to them the situations we are in. It's unfortunate. I'm happy that I think steps have been taken now, because I now know that the NDC now have a parliamentary candidate in the person of Mr. Fred Agbenyo. I think that our party also has a parliamentary candidate for that particular area. It is my hope that this election coming up in December, everybody would have a chance to have a representation in Parliament. The back and forth with Electoral Commission and Mr. Franklin Kujo, I think all that Mr. Franklin Kujo wants is to have somebody represent them in Parliament, which is what we should all be fighting for. Randy, that's what I have to say about this. It's becoming too. We've been talking about this for years now, and I think it has to come to an end.
Crazy.
Well, I agree with Honorable Collins that the most important thing is to ensure that the people of SALL have representation in Parliament. I fully agree with that. But I think that we should also avoid such errors, such apparently deliberate errors, such errors which speak to the incompetence of public officials and so on, should be avoided. I've read the first statement which was issued yesterday, and I've seen the terrible inconsistencies in the statement. One which talks about the fact that they were not aware the Parliament was on recess, and then on the same page, they admit that they were aware the Parliament was on recess. But even worse, it's just the fact that you have an Electoral Commission which doesn't know when Parliament is on recess. Can you imagine that, Randy? You have a whole Electoral Commission and it doesn't know when Parliament is on recess. How does it do its work? I mean, this is an admission of perhaps one of the highest forms of incompetence. And this is a commission which is going to supervise the 2024 elections. I'm afraid. Look, already,
yes.
Randy, and I'm very serious about it.
Yes.
This commission has demonstrated its lack of capacity to do addition. We are not talking about mathematics, though. We are not talking about multiplication. We are not talking about algebraic equations. Is that how
Calculus.
and so on. That's not what we are talking about. Addition, which is done at the day nursery level. Addition. That's where they study. Day nursery level is where they study addition. And the whole commission does not have the capacity to do addition. Are you not frightened?
But
Any wonder that the last elections results were declared 3 or 4 times?
But Crazy.
And is this the commission which is going to supervise the 2024 elections?
Crazy.
Yes, sir.
I am worried about the level of dishonesty, about how this Electoral Commission can lie brazenly. And it's unfortunate, but I think that maybe they do not appreciate the importance of the commission as well as the peace and stability of this country is concerned, to be honest with you. And it is only in a country like Ghana that we will tolerate this. In 2022, the Attorney General of the Republic of Ghana told Parliament, and this is captured in the Hansard of 9th of March 2022, that the EC, on the basis of a correspondence dated 13th of November, submitted these documents to them. 13th of November. Even at this time, 13th of November, you had barely 21 days to go for the election. And this was at the time that they had written to the Attorney General. So even when you submit a letter dated 13th of November, you know very well
It's not possible.
that you will not be able to achieve 21 sitting days. You know.
Especially when Parliament is on recess.
Even if Parliament were not on recess, there is no way you can achieve 21 sitting days. You've written a letter to the Attorney General 13th of. Now, Attorney General is telling us that on the 18th of November, it sent a letter to you, it forwarded a draft and everything to you, and its comments. And it's telling us that the Attorney General particularly drew the attention of the Electoral Commission to the limited time available for the dissolution of the 7th Parliament, having regard to Clause 7 of Article 11 of the Constitution, which requires 21 sitting days for a draft instrument to come into force. So they sent you this on the 18th. Then you waited another 8 days. 26th of November, you then wrote to the Electoral Commission, the Attorney General, requesting it to still go ahead and finalize the draft constitutional instrument. You did this. They received the thing is dated 25th. They received it on 26th. So even after they are advising you on the 18th, you went ahead on the 25th when we had just some 13 days or so to the election and asked them to still go ahead, despite the advice by the Attorney General. And then the Attorney General, 30th of November, then sent you its response with 7 days to go for the election. And all this, which the Attorney General said to Parliament, which is contained in the Hansard, you issue a statement. And thinking that we are all idiots, all these facts, you hide them. And you decide to take on Franklin Kujo, that is peddling falsehood and untruth about the Electoral Commission that we should disregard. This is how you went about your business, according to the Attorney General. And it's contained in the Hansard of Parliament. In which jurisdiction will this conduct be tolerated? In which jurisdiction?
Here.
Will this conduct be tolerated?
This jurisdiction.
And you say he didn't disenfranchise them.
Master, no be so.
And after all this, you were the one who issued the statement on the 6th of December, a day before the election, to tell them that they cannot vote in parliamentary election, they can only vote in presidential. In which jurisdiction will this conduct be tolerated? Where?
The initial statements, Randy, if you read 5, the Commission was not aware that Parliament was on recess at the time it received a letter from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. At the time, as a result, the Commission drafted a constitutional instrument to bring into force the Guan constituency and forwarded a draft to the Attorney General's Department for its review on the 13th. And if you go to 6, following the correspondence to the Attorney General's Department, the Commission became aware of the fact that Parliament was on recess.
Can you imagine? Meanwhile, the Attorney General made you aware of this on the 18th. And despite making you aware of this on the 18th, you still went ahead on the 26th to ask them to still go ahead. You asked them to still go ahead. So what were you cooking? What were you planning? You have told us that it takes 21 days. This is the Electoral Commission we are dealing with. This is the Electoral Commission. And on its this it says transparency, fairness, and integrity. That's the hallmark of the commission.
Yeah.
Transparency, fairness, and integrity. Where is the transparency in this?
No, they will organize.
Where is the fairness in this? Where is the integrity in this? Honorable, you can help me. Maybe me, my profile is not good enough.
Randy, you know I've made my point.
Maybe me, I'm not that educated. I don't understand. Where's the transparency in this? Where's the fairness in this? Where's the integrity in this?
Honorable, would you honestly say, and I mean honestly say, that we should have confidence in a commission like this to conduct the 2024 election?
Oh, I
say honestly.
Oh yeah, I'm being honest. Yeah. I think we all can see that yes, there are some issues with this particular state.
You see, and it's no joke. You see, Honorable.
But I don't think
at the heart of this is the disenfranchisement of a people in 4 traditional areas, and that an electoral commission can, with an administrative fiat, take the decision. And then you are not even remorseful. You come and lie and you hide facts. When the Attorney General has gone, and the thing the Attorney General said, this public record. We have discussed it severally. Where is the transparency? Where is the fairness? Where is the integrity? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? How do you engender confidence? in your work? How do you get people to stop reading meanings into what you do, into every step you take? If you can show such a deficit in integrity and in honesty, how? Anyway.
After court. Boss.
Angwezi.
Yes, sir.
It's unfortunate. I mean, we've all read the statement and seen the inconsistencies, but
these are not inconsistencies.
I still think
these are brazen lies.
I still think we should continue to have confidence in them. I mean, Randy, nothing can change from now to November. We can have a different electoral commission.
But why not?
We can have to conduct our elections.
Your card-bearing members who are sitting on the commissioners' commissions, you think we can remove them before the elections? Why shouldn't we remove them before the elections?
This is a country that believes that. Honorable, this is a country. This is a country which leadership believe that procurement breaches were enough to remove an electoral commissioner. Procurement breaches were enough.
I still hold the view.
But we can tolerate an electoral commission that with an administrative fiat can disenfranchise thousands of people.
Yes, I still hold the view that we are going to have a very
and lie about it and continue to lie about it.
We are going to have a very clean election.
Have you seen the limited voter registration exercise and how it has gone?
Yes, I have.
And you still have confidence that we're going to have very clean elections?
I don't think we are going to have any. Yes, the Electoral Commission has its own problems, but
I'm confident that. Where do you get your confidence from?
I'm confident that we are going to have a very smooth election.
I just want to know where the confidence comes from.
You must have faith. Let's have faith.
Faith in what?
All be well. All be well.
Okay.
All be well. All be well.
Okay. So, Honorable, all will be well. Thanks for joining us. Kwesi, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Up
Andy.
next, GMG Trends.